Peace FM 104.3. Woodmeet Take.
Peace 104.3. Entwa ye Jumediano Sum. Abdul Malik, your comments.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, Kwaku.
Apparently, there's a contest between Abade, was a PNDC, Busia regime, relative to decentralization. Decentralization was started in the colonial days.
Could you please raise your voice?
Was started colonial days and has undergone various changes, reforms over the period. So, and I'll tell you our two experiences, you know it. There was a time when district council elections, parties took part.
No.
For the last, I think, 1958 or so, parties contested. The PNDC, yes, they did a certain shift in terms of decentralization. If you want a document now, the titled, usually you're the Blue Book. Sabakaya transition PNDC from 1987 by 1991. Evolving a true democracy. Summary of NCDs, that's National Commission for Democracy. That time, I don't know, like a hybrid. DFN and our head, it was a hybrid or perform electoral functions as well as educational functions. On the NCC, we educational and we deal with electoral. Summary of NCC war working in Ikuma, Wankasa changes now what they be after taking the parties out. In fact, the parties were seen, political parties were seen as an anathema to even democracy. The PNDC philosophy was against political parties. And Sidinia come on inform me the way they went about the local government system reforms where Minkadenia was entirely negative. No, there was some that were positive. It's one kasa the number of innovations, I'm quoting from the book, page 11, were introduced into the conduct of district level elections. This were in terms of candidature. Candidates were to be ordinary residents in their electoral areas. Inability to read or write in English language was no longer a barrier. Candidates were to stand on their own merit without any organizational support or affiliation. Every candidate had to be nominated and sponsored by not less than 25 registered residents in the electoral area.
Is it sponsored or supported?
Also sponsored. Nominated. Every candidate had to be nominated and sponsored by not less than 25 registered residents in the electoral area. Candidates had to file their life histories and submit this with their pictures to the district electoral commissions. The elections were to be conducted by volunteer DCs, that is district electoral commissioners, appointed from the district. The DCs were to vet the candidates' life histories to check their authenticity. The DCs, and here I mean the DCs, not DCs.
DCs.
Yes. That's a very important correction. You may be very confused with.
And give the full meaning of the DCs.
The District Electoral
Commission.
Okay.
Were to provide a common platform to all candidates to declare their manifestos and for the electorate to question the candidates. Pictures of candidates rather than symbols were to be used. All votes were to be counted in public. Results were to be declared at each polling station. This was some innovations awarded by relative to the previous district council structure. But because no way anti-political parties.
Kwaku, I asked you to raise your voice in Tame. I'm at Fire Abim. Also, is Kwaku suffering PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from last night's overindulgence?
friend.
Fire.
Dr. Fire. Cure. Yeah. Funny telephone.
On your doctor or architect, but
I'm me suffer cold. Me were very bad cold. You can sense it in my voice.
But also post-traumatic stress disorder.
I nearly didn't come today, Kwame.
After we bet yesterday.
Yes. And it's not because I punished myself. I did nothing wrong.
There was a jamboree.
Nothing wrong. Nanda man done terms with all this cool nanyama. Now me go through some of these things. You know, you be honest. I'll be honest with you. Me too able to follow this thing.
See.
But suddenly, no, or NDC for press conference, no, or strike me that perhaps I'd underestimated the gravity of this matter. Go back, check your library, read through some documents and things. And I'll be honest with you, but I had to retrieve all this in the process. Made that by 1:30, 2 a.m. Or can we be now or daily with me cold in the basa. But let's come back. Into I solved the Busia PNDC dispute. No party, no tradition has a monopoly over that relative to decentralization.
Point of correction, point of information.
Please go ahead.
Who said before Rollins Ebayano, yes, some district assembly election be.
1978, I think, under Akufu.
That one then was it partisan or non-partisan?
Yes, it was symbols.
I mean, was it partisan or
non-partisan?
Parties. That's why I said the last time parties took part was 1958.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Yeah. But just like today, even though you didn't see parties visibly involved, they were indeed involved.
That's right.
That's the point I'm making. And 78 under Akufu, it happened. You know, but the point really is that NDC press conference, no man will wake it up. That because I'm there, you're too lazy about it. You haven't taken your time to check what's going on. I'm not. Look, there's a certain element of bad faith, or if you like, breach of faith, on the part of the NDC on this matter. Kwame, suddenly they are asking people to go for an emphatic no relative to the referendum.
Yeah.
It's so pronounced and quick and sudden. What are my reasons? And I'll interrogate some of those reasons.
Well, Mr. Benkancho is not bad faith, it's just politics. But you
don't. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they meant business. They were committed to the principle of partisanship, both at the level of electing the MDCs as well as whether parties should be involved or not. Like Wamna indicated, no, you two-tier matter na yegi. And in Parliament right now, there is that bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill. Urban Nebu MMDC is to be elected. That's right. By universal adult suffrage. And the NDC in Parliament, in spite of the fact that they express some reservations about sequence, Mekai Muntaka especially, our brother Hansard here, was thinking that 1 year Article 55 no, first answer 1 year 24131.
1 year referendum first.
Yes, he said, in fact, if I remember, he said that they are putting the MPP is putting the cart before the horse. They argued over all these things, but in principle, it appeared that BBI was moving to a situation now we'll try to build consensus so as to get a 2/3 majority. No? Then, Biasinum there, para one in the 55-3. It appeared, Kwame, there was some unanimity across the political divide until very recently. And it's looking as if there's a slight dichotomy, and I use this word adversedly, between the party in Parliament and the party outside in terms of how I perceive the processes. It looks as if there was a certain disconnect.
You are talking about the NDC?
Yes. It looks as if there was a certain disconnect about communication.
Sure, when you hear the party outside the crowd, put it in my check.
Interesting.
The General Secretary's end wanted this.
Okay.
It is not true.
That's an interesting
Yes.
It is not true. It is not
Your
true.
credibility and my credibility.
It is not true.
I'll be honest there.
It's equal to credibility.
Okay, that's another angle that been, but I mean, maybe just two. That's the party, the parliamentary minority, as opposed to the corporate entity, NDC as a party. And look, I mean, there's a disconnect, perceived. Damn, I mean, me feel the communication, and or say, when we to arrive at consensus, now the party which is supreme has taken charge, and so held a press conference with the national chairman in charge, telling us that look, we are going for an emphatic no. Look, it has created serious complications. Alote has decided to read into it the crude partisanship we all do, the politicization and yamade into the NDC and no, the MPP yes. You'll be surprised there are people on the MPP side, especially war supporters, war communicators, even more for no, and began long ago. In my major, and see, I don't see it in that crude manner segmentation, but Damne NDC for press conference appears to be pushing. And it's not an honorable path to follow.
The no?
Kwame, say Oba much earlier. I will agree with them that look, it's a matter of principle. But a huge party like that with so many experienced politicians to allow this process to proceed to what is that referendum?
December
17th. It's almost here.
Because the thing didn't come up early.
Which
they didn't was not the thing early.
No,
it can also be tactical.
Because when we all saw what actually we were going for,
how much money have we spent already in putting all these processes in place? How much of the public funds have gone into these whole processes? Which began actually August 2017.
17, agree.
And there are documentation to show of seminars, fora, and parliamentary Wankasa war briefing. There's that roadmap I've seen, well documented. Many of their MPs attended those sessions
and agreed.
Agreed, Kwame. So let me say, with difficulties, with challenges, each stage they build a certain consensus. Then things are moving. Was sorry one day was happen. It's not possible. This is a multi-party competitive dispensation. But gradually, slowly, surely, they were arriving at a certain consensus. And it was going to look as if how we created the 6 regions are both sides. Now, our committees won't win their manifestos to that effect. Gradually, towards the campaign, it treated the NDC for kind of won't vote against the creation.
Yeah.
Did they? No. MPP saw and can no. Both parties, including the other parties in India, there was a national drift. Yeah, there may have been minority, small voices, we are now one peg. But
some NDC party officers were in the regions campaigning for
Yes, that's what happened. This is a structural change. It's like the regions. Into let's say views, and some of the views they've raised now, I'll come to it. On the surface, look solid, but that's why they should have been articulated earlier, so that we wouldn't have gone this far. I expend public funds. Now you drew this stage and this huge bombshell. Look,
but
and you're careful,
this is not a bombshell.
Well, maybe I'm exaggerating. I pull back my exaggeration. I pull back the exaggeration. It's a challenge.
The amendment or the...
I suspect that too won't go through.
It will go through.
But that's the point I'm making.
Now, we see that's why
where we have reached.
No, it won't go through.
My brother, you are a politician. You are a very experienced politician. What has happened, Ewa, is an indicator.
Yes.
They're even on that one too. The NDC has pulled back.
Yes.
No.
Look, I'll be surprised.
No.
I will be very surprised if the NDC, as a corporate party, as an entity, will now tell their MPs that go ahead and vote for the amendment.
The thing is, Kwaku, the only thing is...
I'm speculating.
I know you are speculating,
yes.
but maybe some choice.
Very reasonable.
Article 243, it will go through. It will go through. But see, the thing is that the fears of the NDC behind some of our members say, if you go, because MPP so said, On one can be yet to Obama MMDCs. No, it is here. Oh, I'm telling you, they don't want it.
Some.
I said,
oh, you mean the party?
Anyway, you are on the face where you don't want to.
No, I don't mind. Go.
So we the mission is
come on.
Yeah, 243 no. And then it will go through. Now go try me 55 train you. Now but because if it's some of 75 train, that's a quite emphatic no. Some of the NPP people
yes,
243. So let's do 243 now.
243 is in Parliament as we speak. I think
so
it's
let's
second reading. You are a former member of
Parliament. You can do it within 1 week.
Yes. Before even the referendum.
Yes.
But I've said once you have thrown in.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Do the 240.
That's what I meant by the bad faith.
If government wants election of MMDC, no.
Why I said it's a breach of faith.
Minority chief whip is also saying that go and do referendum before you come.
No. Let me.
Go do the referendum.
No, that is much earlier. July 26th.
Yes. Remember.
July 26, 2019 Hansard showed that it was like he was raising a matter of caution. I want to be very honest with this thing. And matters were debated, deliberated on it. You are former member of Parliament. You know how it happens. So, I'm with you there. They had passed that stage. My understanding is that we went to stage BR. There was almost a consensus there. Look. 2431 amendment and I will go through.
Yes.
To test and
so why not let it go through?
But it's not too. No, if your press conference had not come, with this kind of what I see as a preemptive strike, I will not be worried. I am now worried. My brother. Okay, no, but that's fine. No, you are entitled to disagree.
What I'm saying is, say 243 MMD Soba, and then. By Friday, they can let it go.
The sequence. It was obvious that is what the consensus was.
No, what I'm saying.
So there was no doubt that there was the 2431 was going to be done before December 17th.
But because you can still go and get the 2431 done today.
I am saying yes. Look. What he's saying can be done today. Even tomorrow or the next day. But I'm saying that more press conference and the new line now asking for an emphatic no has created complications. And my feeling, my hunch is that why endanger the consent, the two tests for it. That's all I'm saying. Not that today, if they decide to do it, they won't do it. But look, even the other side, also will be asking questions. Sayenia will be moving in good faith. Approaching a consensus, looking for 2/3 because party be need parliament or 2/3. So it was obvious that you were going to need a 2 to do it. Now 2/3 targeted at 2431, isn't it? The other arguments, the other portion like 248, removal and one family shame. Those are arguments they all made, but still, in spite of all those differences, they were moving towards amendment of 2431. Using 2/3 majority, which was going to be very unique in the legislative thing. I was so happy the process that way. Even though before more conclude, much man for my position on this matter. But I'm saying that in terms of practical politics, NDC for deciding the few weeks to the referendum deadline to come out and give a variety of reasons, but the key one being that go out there, vote no. I'll be so naive, or with the height of naivety, for me to sit here and think that will have no impact on that earlier drive towards 2/3 majority. My goodness, I've been in politics for a while. And I'll be so amazed if nothing goes wrong relative to the 2/3 passage. I'll be so amazed. Look, Kwame, looking into the crystal ball, I think that even that 2/3 thing is
an
dead.
Experienced politician. He knows how to manipulate.
No, sure. Look, very I get the feeling the 2/3 they won't get it.
And
they won't get the 2/3
because he's using this thing. Okay, so that people will go and vote yes. Because we are telling you. We are telling you, sir. It has nothing to do with 243. The no or yes has nothing to do with 243.
But have I?
But you are twisting people's mind that if you vote no, That means 240 will not go through, which is not true.
At least I'm not politically uneducated and inexperienced.
You are experienced, very experienced.
Inti memetra han kan there. You know, sometimes they exercise patience and self-restraint.
Onya de mebeke bibi.
Kwame.
Eta no nso na kan asem.
My mechanic there. I mean, Sisiano. My hunch.
Not hunch, hunch.
Hunch. Hunch.
No, but Liberia,
Repeat.
Hunch.
Hunch. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Inima, that two-test passage, a Nana war building slowly, surely, is endangered. It's an endangered species.
The 2/3.
Yes, it's an endangered
because
species.
Because the 2/3 requires consensus.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kwame, absolutely.
And at this rate,
no, especially after yesterday, I am not convinced. In fact, unhappy. Unhappy. I'm sure by now, no, the whip system, no, has been put in place. Now, in the absence of that, I'm looking at the prospects for December 17th. And indeed, the rationale, the philosophy, all those behind it, it appears it's also in tatters. If I had my way, I would say defer this referendum or suspend it or abolish it. Don't do it. Because we are not building a national consensus, cohesion, coherence behind this project like we did with the regional ones, in spite of people's reservations, Nengama. That's the feeling I have. And I'm being honest with you. Knowing Ghana's history and our politics the way it is. I mean, I can't control what my position had been on this whole matter from day one. And I'll be honest with you, before the year 2000, Namekanwa were fierce advocates for electing MMDCs on partisan basis, 100%.
Okay.
We've seen Dum, all the rest were part of us. Indeed, the MPP itself, in their manifesto, all the rest. Post 2000, few things happened. Then some of us began to revise our position that, hold on, how do we go about this?
Was it flip-flop?
No.
It was a flip.
Yes, you are entitled to describe it so. Me, no, I will not be offended. I will go along with even your description. I'm okay with it. I'm telling people that, and people know. There are a lot of people who have interacted with me who know. Odru stage bi akwami.
Yeah.
And there was one factor name use. Recently, it be framed no explanation though maybe I'm missing a point, and that is where the context of consequential amendments comes in. I had a difficulty. Say if there's Intelligence Act at 526. District Chief Executives, MMDCs, they are chairmen of the regional
district.
The municipal and district chief.
Regional minister, DISEC and RESEC.
RESEC is the regional minister.
Yes. No, DISEC. Yeah, the
district.
So metropolitan, municipal, district. They are the heads of those.
That's the point I'm making. Yes, that's the point I'm making. I had a serious difficulty. Me, studied in America. Hold on, we are a unitary state. So you are not careful, now you create a certain imbalance relative to your intelligence and security architecture. It may lead to a situation where you need to make control. And see, why are we going to elect maybe party A on our central government? But Nenkofu may take charge of districts and metropolitan centers, being municipal ones. Ne be chairman
of DISEC.
Of the DISEC and the other ones now. That's an obvious blueprint for chaos. And see, that was the stand I had. Nancy Anna Minibi argued, then the person who is part of the processes in Parliament called me and said, we won't make point, but perhaps it's because I hadn't done deeper thinking relative to consequential amendments. So it means that even this intelligence, security and intelligence agencies RT is subject to amendment.
So the consequential amendments will cover
some of
these things. And see, are we suggesting so the DCs and MCs will not become chairmen anymore?
No, yes. Principally, but they could be members.
They could be members.
Yes.
Well, in fact, they should be members.
They should.
It will make sense.
And that means, but it means that it doesn't take away entirely that problem, except there it diffuses it. Because if they are there in terms of confidentiality and other things,
we'll take more.
But the people say, look, we are building a nation. We are not building a party country. Into the spoils of power is being shared, quote unquote, as I put it. Into there's an interesting argument out there. This intellectual exercise, I'm prepared to learn. I'm prepared to listen and to modify and amend me rule, me positions, flip flop. I'm prepared to do yes.
You are prepared to flip flop?
Yes, in the Meka, my brother, I'm prepared to flip flop on this matter. But Sisiama NDC fire, and that's a big party. Make no mistake about it. It's a party that has had a governance experience. It's a part, the main opposition party today, the only opposition party in parliament. Number one, why you underestimate the implications of what they have done, will be joking. I think they've breached faith. They've shown that they could be very diabolical,
very dishonest.
No, this is not
that's
about
a harsh word.
diabolics and dishonesty.
Kwame,
yes,
to be honest,
when all
the protesters, as you just said, and in our part, all of
that is where I'm worried about.
This is complete dishonesty.
Inti BBA dunus minim, so why are too late even to abandon the project? Meaning, if the people go ahead, December, the first one, the 2431, my whole sense is that it's not going to come on. They won't give us the 2/3.
Mamu Hussein there, granted, they are December.
Without the 2/3.
Yes, you win.
Yes.
Now, in order to give beef to this position, party affair, you need the 2/3 also in parliament.
Yeah, but if you don't get it, what happens?
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. If you don't get it, we can go ahead get the December thing. Yes, that's the situation they have created.
So therefore, we need to forget it.
That is what I am saying. I mean, me feeling in the way I mean, and look, they've done it in such a manner.
No, I have something to say.
Oh,
you can make us
I'll be good.
I have something to say.
Yes, why not? And it will be good if you have something to say. Because in Yabahana, that's what we are doing, exchanging views and, doing things like that. And Kwame, the other points I may say was, Obama politics are too expensive.
Party chairman, for example, raised
yes, or they're too expensive.
At the press conference.
If parties there was sponsored delegates, or they will hold delegates conference on is it the electoral area and Yamanyama P? Well. Look, even on the national level elections, these parties they mobilize more than $100 to $120 million. I don't know where they get them from.
Yes,
that's what they do. But assuming put there. The extra bed the Biba Baba can this $100 and $120 million now. Sisiano, district assembly elections, how is it financed? Apart from private funding, it be Ankasa mobilize Whisker. Common platform where still.
Where still?
That's part of fund. That's part of sponsorship.
No, so you can try to go and organize a platform and campaign.
First,
not but you have amended the law and now you can go.
Very interesting. I didn't know that. So you can do your own. So that's a part of your own private mobilization. But state DNA still remains.
State, but the last election,
we are still discussing.
Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission
we are still discussing and interrogating the idea of state funding for political parties. So we are still doing it.
Yes.
Even though one parties even there's a political parties platform. I'm the IE in Danida or Sabadi. Maybe is it Danida? There's a certain foreign which
and they have it for chairman, they have it for general secretary.
Yes, and they are talking of also creating a democracy fund. If one electoral reforms document now all the parties took part in to help. Now I'm saying that So I did the extra burden, Baba. Though parties could take part, you can still maintain that structure now at local level. The state helps.
Yes.
What's it? Why? The parties are violating the constitution by sponsoring, even if it's covertly. Saying your evidence now, we should report them for them to be punished. And then
as usual, posters in the book.
It's a question on the TV side. That's one local report. What's the why? If so, my way is like legalizing stealing because they're stealing. They're stealing. It's not because they're stealing. To prevent stealing, they legalize it. Okay. Well, you be a respect.
But I hear this whole thing. To do all of this.
You see, look, local government, I can't take him out of. It's fantastic. He knows.
Stop speculation. You are a cannibal person. Stop speculation.
You were saying that some MP people vote themselves. How did you know that? How did you know that? When you say we should be quiet.
You wanted to breach faith.
Politics aside or whatever one's disagreements with
our regional minister speculating
local government.
Remember you are regional minister.
Huge authority. I mean, any day, any time, I would want to learn from him. Uninterested there, Bibi Obaka, and I'm saying the Minty don't know can this thing about stealing, but Matty others. Oh, I see. But Kwame, it's the same argument about vigilantes in Nanyama. There was some bravo order that apply the law. But gradually, when our parliament will print will pass.
I said, you like to say Nkusiaga. I'm passing Nkusiaga. Nkusiaga.
No.
You are banning Boy Scouts.
Before Nkusiaga, members of parliament agreed and have passed a law.
Once you have brought a bill, definitely to go through. You have brought a bill, so definitely you
mean they couldn't say no? They couldn't dissent?
What's the bill that banned? You better discuss here the Viaba. But let me tell you, the first year of the
but point I'm making is
whatever you do, it's like Boy Scouts.
It's a special, it's a office of special prosecutor.
Yeah.
So corruption.
Because
aren't you running too fast? This is we're a country. We are building. We are making history. There are times our agencies are created, been 30, 40, 50 years. Have challenges. It's too early to judge.
I'm sorry, prosecutor. No. Until they amend the Article 88, is it 3 or 4? All prosecution must be done by the Attorney General, and then the Nolo prosecutor until they amend it.
But wait, aren't you aware Parliament did certain things relative to that? They ceded some of the power to in terms of knowledge prosecutor. It was given to some part has been given to the office. Kwame, I wish I had my art here. There's a portion that has been given.
Say, Attorney General cannot intervene in prosecution. Special prosecutor.
Do you have the act?
No, I'm asking you.
Because this whole idea of the special prosecutor is about the constitutional provision there. Attorney General can cede.
Yes, and they did so in Parliament.
Gentlemen,
ceded prosecution. I'm talking about
gentlemen.
That too, they ceded. They gave
gentlemen,
they gave some.
If I may have to use it advisedly, gentlemen. Good morning, Chairman General. From time to time, you correct the pronunciation of Mr. Kwaku Baako, among others, who also correct him as some who do so to make fun of him. But he takes it all in his stride, without the slightest sign of irritation. I really like him for that. Your Wednesday panel is still special. Good morning to all of them. IKJC.
Yes.
Former MP.
I mean, man.
He was the headmaster of.
No, don't get it twisted. IKJC, former headmaster Tia Badia.
So it was a columnist.
No,
Chronicle.
Joe Chem, the late.
But
he was a columnist for Chronicle. He's commending the police for doing his work.
That's a Ghanaian Times, so.
Yes, former Ghanaian Times editor. Now he's passed.
Ask me by my police.